Okay, all right, welcome. We meet again here in a video. Yes, this is the Honest Real Estate Agent video library series. So this is something new that I'm creating. I put together a training tutorial, and now I'm doing a YouTube video where you're not going to see my face. So maybe that's a good thing. I've got a series of slides that I'm going to go through, a PowerPoint. What I wanted to create is a training tutorial for new agents and for experienced agents, and have this be a library where you can go back and you can refer to it. So this is the first video that I'm putting together. So I want to hear your feedback. I want to hear what you have to think about it, and I'll be doing more of these. So this is the first one. The title of this video here is Your First Day as a Realtor. And a lot of you know me through my book, through other videos, now my podcast. So I look forward to helping you here through this medium, through the video. And so here we kind of jump right into it. The study tips and just some thoughts maybe on how you can get more out of this video training series is come back and watch it on a regular basis. It's valuable for new agents as well as experienced agents. What I think is best if you can watch the video at your desk, on your laptop or your computer, and take notes. You know, the best way for me to learn in the past is if I've got a notepad right next to me and I write down what I'm learning in the video, but also maybe I'm going to get some ideas for my business and for what I'm doing as a result of going through the video or podcast or whatever it is. What I'd like you to do is put into action what you learn. I think that would be very, very helpful. And then, like Yoda said, you must unlearn what you have learned. Because I think a lot of you have a certain thought about how to do real estate, how to be a realtor. You've got these preconceptions, and some of them might be good, but some of them might not be so good. So you need to kind of strip that away. The other thing I want you to do is absorb the material. Just kind of really don't have any resistance. Take it all in. Think about what it is you're learning, reflect, and visualize yourself being successful. These are really good tips as we go through this together. One of the reasons why I feel so passionate about putting together this material for a lot of you that are new, a lot of you that are getting into the industry, is that I feel the real estate schools are very limited. They don't really teach you how to build a business, how to be successful as a realtor. The real estate school, their objective is to help you pass the exam, which is great. You could pass the real estate exam, but if you don't know what to do with it, then it's really not going to be helpful to you. Anybody today can get a real estate license. I mean, it's true. I thought it was a big deal when I got my license, years ago. I was all excited about passing the test and everything. But I mean, if you think about what a doctor has to go through, what a lawyer has to go through, a dentist, a CPA, it's pretty easy to become a real estate agent. The other thing that I think some of you really need to focus on is being a realtor is a career. Have a long-term focus to the future. You're building for the future. Don't just look at being a realtor where you can come in and, within 6 months you can make $100,000. That's just not realistic. I mean, some of you might do that, but you have to look at it long term. Look at it as a career that you're going to build. You're going to get better year in, year out, and look at it like a 10, 15, 20, 30-year career. I've been doing it 11 years now, and I mean, it's gone by in a blink of an eye. And I know a lot of other realtors, it's the same thing. For those of you starting out, look at it as a career and a long-term focus. Now, the first thing that I think all of you should do is you need to become a realtor. You need to join your local realtor association. A lot of companies today require you to be a realtor. I know my company, they require us to be a realtor. And then the good thing about being a realtor is that you have access to your local MLS, and then you just have the designation of being a realtor. You get the realtor PIN, but there is a certain level of respect, a certain level of having a good reputation that you are a realtor. Not a realtor, a realtor. So I've been a realtor since day one, and it wasn't anything that was a big issue for me. Yeah, we got to pay fees, but that's just a cost of doing business. What are the defining characteristics of successful realtors? And I've really come into contact with a lot of top-notch, a lot of top-producing realtors in the last year doing my podcast and reaching out to different realtors and managing brokers across the country and talking to some of the national coaches and trainers. Number one, it's all about desire. You have to have the motivation. You have to have a reason to succeed. The top realtors, they're really focused on succeeding. They don't look at it as they're just going to give it a try. They don't look at it like, well, maybe I'll help out friends and family. They don't look at it like, well, I'll just kind of work part-time for a year and just kind of see what happens. I mean, they jump into it. They jump into it full bore. They're committed to it. They put in the training. They put in the studying. They really put in all the hard work. You need the attitude. You need the desire. You want to be able to create your future and determine what is important to you in your life. And that, when you look at it, that's really what defines a lot of successful people. The people that are successful today are the ones that are motivated, have a good attitude, they want to put in the effort, but then they get better. Now, the other thing I want you to think about is, what are your goals? What are your personal goals? Now, a lot of us, it's going to be money. We want to make money because we want to make money for our family, our husband, our wife, boyfriend, girlfriend. If you're married and you have kids, or if you're single and have kids, for the security, for your family. Maybe you want to travel. For a lot of us that get into real estate, this is a second or third career. I started real estate. I was 40 years old when I got my license. And so now a lot of the money that I'm making today, I got to plan for my retirement. These are the things that you need to think about. What are your goals? What is important to you? Because the goals are what is going to pull you to the future. And if you don't have goals and you're not motivated, you're not going to survive as a successful realtor. And I'm just being really upfront. For those of you that are new, you need to have a goal for how much you want to make on a yearly basis in terms of your gross commissions. Now, let's say your first year you want to make $100,000 in gross commissions. Well, then you need to build a business plan. You need to build a business plan to be able to identify how many buyers, how many sellers do you need to close based on your average sales price in the area and what you think the number of transactions you need to close to be able to hit your gross commission goal. You need to figure out how much you need to build for your pipeline, for your buyers and your sellers. How many buyers do you need to be actively working? For example, I talk about a realtor that I know up in Michigan, Jeff Rising. And Jeff, I've interviewed on the podcast. He's been profiled in my book. And in his area, his average sales price is going to be about $40,000 to $50,000. Now, that's something that some of you might have that environment. For me, my average sales price is probably around $350 to $400. I know a realtor in Washington, D.C. proper, Joan Caton Cromwell, and Joan is a friend of mine, grew up with her in elementary school. Her average sales price is in the $900,000 range. Yeah, $900,000. So that's really good for her, and then she knows how many transactions she needs to do. So this is something, especially before you start, identify, build your business plan, and then we can be able to build your sales and marketing plan around how many transactions you need to do based on your average sales price. I want to talk about what are the 4 areas where you need to focus to succeed as a realtor. And this is applicable to realtors that are new, realtors that have been in the business 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. And I want to kind of build a foundation because when you're new, one of the challenges that you face is you just don't know what to do because it is so overwhelming. Number one, you got to focus on lead generation, marketing. Nothing happens in this business until we're face to face with a buyer or a seller. The biggest reason why new agents fail is because they don't have enough leads. Yes, it's all about the leads, right? The Glengarry leads. Now let me say that again. This is the biggest reason. The biggest reason for those of you listening, the reason why some of you are not going to make it is because you're not generating enough leads. Don't be that realtor. Don't rely on your company for leads. You've got to generate your own leads. For me, coming out of corporate sales, I knew that. It's been ingrained in my blood since the first time I started doing, sales when I was 25 years getting out of college. I had to focus on getting leads. That is the foundation for a business. Number 2, you got to have expertise. You got to have expertise in your market. You got to understand and really know property values. You got to really know the neighborhoods like the back of your hand, the public schools, the private schools, the public services, the environmental issues. Every area is going to have environmental issues like termites or expansive soils or potential flooding. You need to know all of that. That is your expertise. You need to know, it's all about product knowledge. Know your market, know the property values, know the neighborhoods, and then you're going to be able to get better. Number 3, you need to know your contracts and you need to be a good negotiator. I've got it listed out here, all the different areas you need to focus on. Some of the best advice I can give you when you start out, go take a contract class. Take a line-by-line contract class in your first month. Yeah, you learned it in your real estate school, but when you take a continuing ed class and they go line by line through the contract, they talk about the real day, everyday application of how to write a contract, how to negotiate a contract for a buyer and for a seller. So you need to know everything related to a contract. And the other skill that you need to hone and get better at is your negotiating. You need to be a good negotiator. Number 4, post-selling. And this is where once you do sell and once you do close on a buyer and a seller, closing gifts, getting testimonials, getting referrals. I feel very strongly that your first year clients are the foundation of your business. You really, really need to treat your first year customers that you close, treat them like royalty. Make sure that you stay in touch with them. Make sure that you take them out to lunch. I give like a 1-year anniversary gift after somebody has bought or sold a house. These are the ways that we want to build the relationship and make sure we get good referrals. And I'll talk more about this in other videos. But I want to just talk about the 4, and here they are again: lead generation, expertise, contracts and negotiating, and post-selling. We're going to take this journey together, and I'm going to be here to help you. And here's my information. Here's my email. If you have any questions or any thoughts, don't hesitate to email me. There's my website. I'll put up a blog. I've got information there. You've got my book, you've got my podcast, and future videos. I'm also working on a coaching program for those of you that are interested. We can do a coaching program through Skype, and you pay a monthly fee. You can do that through PayPal, and I've got information on my website as well about what I'm going to be offering. Because the one thing about doing this video, the drawback is that there's no interaction, there's no question, answers. I'm doing this in my company where I'm training a lot of new realtors, doing some training programs, and we can have a great dialogue during the class, and it really helps me. So anytime you have any questions as you go through this, don't hesitate to email me. I'll be there. I'll answer it. Don't call me. Email me is the best way to do it. Now, the first thing I want to talk about here in this video, just to kind of get the foundation, is why do people buy? And what I'm talking about here is why is a consumer going to choose you to be their realtor, to be able to help them buy a house or sell a house. And this is really the foundation of selling. I mean, this is sales 101. Now, I know a lot of you say, well, being a realtor, it's not really a sales job. Well, yes and no. I mean, I really think it's a sales job, but it's the way you spin it. For me, I consider myself in sales, but I consider myself in a consultative sales position. But I'm still, like I said, nothing happens unless you generate leads. And that's part of the marketing side of our business. And we'll talk more about that. But when you're meeting somebody for the first time, somebody connects with you on the internet, through a blog, through a post, through a video, somebody's referred to you. Why are they going to do business with you? Because they like you and they trust you. That is the heart of any business relationship, sales and customer. People, they like to do business with salespeople when they like them and trust them. Think back when you bought a car, when you bought a big TV, when you bought whatever, something that's big in your life. Like if you chose a CPA, whoever it is, a lot of times we choose people that we like and we trust. Now the other part of this, and this is what I feel really strongly about today, is you also have to have the expertise to help them based on their criteria, based on what they want and what they need. So for example, this is what I do when I do a training class. I pull up two realtors. So I've got this one realtor guy, like my graphics on my PowerPoint. I've got this one realtor guy and I've got this one lady. So I bring up a man and a lady and a woman up from the audience. And then me, I'm a buyer. And let's say I'm looking to buy a loft in downtown Denver. And I'm willing to spend up to $800,000. Now let's say this realtor here on the left, Bob, let's say he's a realtor and he works in Fort Collins, which is about 45 minutes north of Denver. And then let's say this other realtor, this lady here, and let's say her name is Amanda, and let's say Amanda, she works in downtown Denver proper. And now let's say I'm online and I'm looking for information about downtown lofts in Denver. And let's say maybe I pull up a blog post that Amanda wrote about here are the 10 pitfalls to avoid when you buy a loft in downtown Denver. Now she has the expertise that I'm looking for. So I'm probably going to be more attracted, I'm going to gravitate more towards her because she works in downtown Denver. Now Bob, he works up north in Fort Collins. Now let's say I'm at a networking event, and let's say I meet both of them, and I like both of them. Bob's a nice guy, looks good in his suit. Amanda, she looks nice, in her, what is that, purple dress? So they're nice people. Most real estate agents, we're nice people. Now, for me as a consumer, I like both of them, and I talk to them. We mingle, they seem like honest, seem like they both have integrity. Now, what is going to be the deciding factor? The deciding factor is going to be Amanda because she has the expertise in the area of my need because I'm looking at buying a loft in downtown Denver. Whereas Bob, nice as he is, friendly guy, he's not in the area where I need help. So I don't want to work with him. He's not going to be able to help me. I want all of you to really think about this throughout your career. This applies when you meet people. This applies when you get referred by somebody. This applies when you're doing your marketing online, your direct mail, your email campaigns, whatever it is. Always remember, people are going to do business with you because they like you, they trust you, and you have the expertise to be able to help them. Never, ever forget that. Now, I get referred people from my past clients, and I just had one a couple weeks ago where I was referred to a buyer and they wanted to look in South Denver, and that is an area that I don't cover. I'm up in the Boulder area. South Denver is about 45-minute drive for me. But the big thing is I don't have the expertise and knowledge of that market. Now this buyer, they actually rent. They rent in South Denver, so they know the area more than I do. I never want to help a client where they know more than I do about the market. So I referred them to another agent that I know in South Denver, and this agent is really good, and she helped me on another referral earlier in the year. So within about 2 weeks, she was able to help this buyer, and now they're under contract. And I get a referral fee. And that's just a great way to do it. Generally, agent to agent, we usually do a referral fee about 25%. And that's what I feel comfortable with, doing it both ways. So never feel like you're losing money if you have to refer somebody to another area where you don't have the expertise. How to get people to like you. This is kind of something silly to talk about, right? How do I get somebody to like me? But I think it's something that I want you to consider because I want all of you to just be yourself. Be confident. You want to find common ground with your buyer, with your seller, somebody you're meeting. Be a professional. Don't be somebody that you're not. And I tell you, I tried that in the past just to try to get business, and it's awful because you never feel good. It's like if you're only comfortable in your own skin. And that is so true. I know all the clients that I help now, one of the reasons why I love my job so much is that I just get to be myself. And, sometimes I can be cheesy and sometimes I can try to make jokes. But when I want to be serious, I'm serious and I really focus and I'm very professional. I have my own style and people like me, right, Sally Field? You like me, you like me. But people like me for who I am. And I want you to do the same thing. And for those of you that are new, you get caught in this trap. You get caught in this trap where you got to be like this realtor on the billboard or this realtor that you see in the newspaper or this realtor you see on TV. Be yourself. Don't try to be a realtor in these $1 million listing shows. Just be yourself. It's all about being genuine. When you're genuine, and then you're going to be confident. People want to do business with realtors that are confident, that know their market, like I said about expertise. But being able to build this rapport, and then you build it by common ground, and that's just, trying to find out where you have commonality. And again, like I said, be a professional. I can't stress this enough because I've done this in my training classes, and I know a lot of the experienced agents, they say the same thing. They say that is so true. Just be yourself, be confident, enjoy what you do, and you're going to attract somebody. It's the law of attraction. We're going to attract people that are going to want to be with us. We're going to attract people that like us. It's going to happen. And as we go through this, and I talk about it in my book and my podcast, when you're marketing and when you're putting yourself out there, you want to be genuine. You want to be yourself because then that way the people that come to you, they want to do business with you. The people that have found me online through my videos, hey, Mario, I saw your video. Can you be my realtor? And that's where you really be able to build that relationship. Now, how do you get people to trust you? This is really simple nowadays. Just be honest. Have integrity. You want to care about your customers. Caring about your customers, trying to do what's right for them, you're motivated to help them get what they want. And when you have that motivation and when you have that mindset, it comes across. People feel that. Because if you don't have it and you're just focused on the money and you're just focused on closing the deal, people feel that too. However you're motivated, your customers are going to pick up on that. So just be honest, have integrity, care about your customers, ask good questions. This is just, to me, it's innate. You ask people good questions and then you listen. You shut up. You don't keep talking. When you're a new agent, when you're a new salesperson, you get nervous. And what do you do when you get nervous? You talk. Shut up. Don't say anything. Let them talk. Let them tell their story. It doesn't matter if you like the house. It doesn't matter what you think about the kitchen. It's what they think about the kitchen. I never go in when I'm taking a buyer. I'm never blabbering on about, oh, look at these features here, look at this, look at that. I'm just quiet. I let them look at it. I let them talk about it. I will point out stuff, but I'm not like what you see in some of these TV shows. Here's this, here's that, here's that. We're not tour guides. We're there to help them make an informed decision. We're there to help them. I'll point out the pluses. I point out the minuses, but I don't just keep talking. Listen. You always want to be listening to your customers, especially the first time you meet them. It's a sign of respect. You never talk over your customers. Now, the next slide here is don't beg for business. Our relationship with our customers has to be based on respect. We want mutual respect. And for me, I never want to do business with a customer, with a client who doesn't respect me, who doesn't respect my time, who doesn't respect my knowledge, who doesn't respect my expertise, who doesn't respect me as a person. When I've been in those situations before, and those are so painful, because if people don't respect you, then they just treat you badly, and then what happens is we let it go because we want the business, we'll do whatever it takes, and then once you're out of whack, you just don't like it. I mean, I don't like it. You want that respect. You're equals. You're a professional, just like a doctor, just like a lawyer. We are professionals. Now, the other thing I always say, never say please and always say thank you. Why do we want to beg somebody? I remember years ago, I talked about this many times when I was managing an inside sales team in high tech. And a lot of the sales reps, they would call and they would follow up and they say, oh, hey, Bob, did you get my the information I mailed to you? Just want to make sure you got it. Please give me a call back. Please. I mean, you could hear it in their tone. I mean, they were begging. They would always say, please, please call me back. Look at the emails that you write. Look at what you have on your website. Look at how you communicate with people. Are you saying please? Now, if you're like go to a doctor's appointment and then you're getting some test results back and the doctor says, or the nurse says, hey, we got your results and can you please call me back? They never say please. They just say, hey, call me back at your convenience and we can help you. Don't beg. You never want to be in that position where you're begging for business. You are a professional. You are offering a high level of service. You are a professional. Don't beg. You're helping people with the biggest financial transaction for most people in their lives, right? buying and selling a house. I've helped people. They buy a house for $300,000. They're a first-time buyer. I mean, that's a huge investment. They put down 10%. They owe 270. I mean, that's a big part of their lives. They look to me as a professional. So I'm never begging. I'm never begging for business. But I always say thank you. Always say thank you. Thank you are the best two words you can use when you're working with your customers. Every time somebody follows up with you, you say thank you. Every time somebody calls you back, you say thank you. You get an offer on a listing, you say thank you. And it's a simple thing. I've given so many offers to listing agents, and I don't even get a thank you. It's like, come on. Now, talking about why you're a realtor, what is your motivation? Now, a lot of our motivation is money, like I talked about before. Doing deals. A lot of us enjoy the negotiating and doing deals. But for most of us, it's because we want to help other people. I know for me, that has always been my philosophy as a salesperson ever since I got into sales. I want to help the other people with my product or my service. And that's what you need to think too. You're helping other people. And I know a lot of you do that. This is something that I think is really good about 80 to 90% of our profession. A lot of us have that positive mindset that we're here to help other people. But the other part is I want you to have a long-term focus. Look to the future. You're building a career. You're building the snowball, and you're going to get better. It is a fulfilling career. You're adding value. You make a difference in the lives of your customers because we truly help people. But the great thing is then we get to make money as a result of helping people through our skills, through our knowledge, through our hard work. And that to me is a complete win-win. We get to make money, we're adding value, and we make a difference, and we're truly helping people. That's it for the first video here. I just wanted to kind of go through some of the first steps that you need to do as a realtor starting out in your first day. I'm going to do a part 2 here pretty soon and talking about what do you do on your first day, because it is overwhelming, and I'll kind of talk about what you need to do your first day and just take it day by day. So thanks for being here, joining me on this new venture together, this video series. Let me know what you think. Drop me an email. Give me feedback here on the video page, wherever. But let me know what you think, and we'll talk again soon. All right, bye-bye.